What is up, ladies and gents? You know what time of day it is. It's XCN time, and in today's video, we're going to be talking all about XCN. We're going to be going over some of the recent news. We're going to be talking about the price here on XCN and where we think it's headed over the next few days. Specific to this video as well, I'm going to be talking about why I think it's a mistake to be selling your XCN here. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. Of course, if you're a new viewer, then welcome to this channel. If you do like this content, hit the like button and subscribe for more. If you are a returning viewer, as always, welcome back to the channel. It's great to see you all here. So we're diving straight into this video. Of course, we've got to touch on this price first here on XCN. We'll get in the annotations back here on the chart, and this is basically what we've been monitoring over the past few weeks here on XCN. Of course, this trend line heading downwards was our resistance here on XCN. It's been tested on so many different occasions by the price. It's been keeping XCN in this downtrend. So that is why we are looking at this gray line, this resistance here, as kind of our guide on XCN. Of course, we had this blue line as well. This was a strong support for XCN. And just over the past 24 hours here on XCN, you can see that, as expected from the previous video, we had a clear breakdown from the support that we were monitoring here. Of course, prices came down to 1.2 cents. We saw a bounce to test the support, then as a resistance, and then the prices are heading back down once again. This is very, very typical behavior. Of course, this is exactly what we saw as well a bit earlier on XCN. We were looking at the 1.8 cents level too, and as the prices headed down below it, we saw the prices pump to test it a few times and then come straight back down. So this is just typical downtrend behavior here on XCN. As I stated in my previous video as well, we were watching for these Fibonacci levels as places of support. And the next one down, guys, just so you are aware, is this fib here. And this one lies at 1.1 cents here on Onyxcoin. If this level doesn't hold, guys, the next level down on this chart sits at roughly 0.7 cents on Onyxcoin. So those are some of the support levels that I'm looking at. If you are holding your Onyxcoin and you're feeling a little bit on edge right now, you're feeling that the negative emotions are creeping in, just remember that we are all in the same boat here. The hardest part of investing in crypto is just waiting and doing nothing, because these downtrends feel like they last forever, because they do last a lot longer than the pumps do. Look at how quickly the price of XCN pumped here. It only took 2 weeks from when we saw the prices at 0.2 cents there to reach that 5 cents region. So these pumps happen really, really quick. But these downtrends on crypto generally tend to be really slow and really, really painful. And that's exactly what the whole market is feeling right now. But there's going to be a time when we see a reversal and pumps are going to return to the market. And I still strongly believe we're going to see new highs here on XCN. We are going to see a reversal, and we are going to see that uptrend happen once again. And when we do start to see an uptrend here on Onyxcoin, it's going to be quite quick. We're going to see the prices moving like this, where any pump on Onyxcoin could reverse all this downtrend that we've seen over the past 2 months in a matter of days. And that's what we're aiming to catch here on Onyxcoin. And even, guys, if the prices head 10, 20, 30% lower, then I still think it's worth your while, because when the prices do start to pump, you're going to be able to ride that all the way up here on Onyxcoin. Of course, with that in mind as well, I do think that we are nearing a bottom here on the Onyxcoin price, because there's a lot of things that are telling me that we could be seeing a trend reversal in the general markets. And that's why I personally think it's a mistake if you're looking to sell your Onyxcoin right now. And the first thing that's telling me that we could potentially be seeing a reversal here in Onyxcoin is if we have a look at the MACD. There have been so many divergences between the MACD and the price. Now, divergences on the MACD and the price hint at possible trend reversals. And in one isolated instance, we can kind of just brush it off and say, well, this is just part of the downtrend. But when it starts to show on multiple different time frames, that's when we start to think, okay, this is a clear downtrend, but this is starting to get absurd here. So if you have a look at the Onyxcoin on the 1 hour chart, of course, this is short-term stuff here. So we obviously, if we connect the lows of the price here on Onyxcoin on the 1 hour chart and we do the same for the same time frame over the MACD, you can see that the two trend lines are pointing in two different directions. The one on the price is heading in a downwards direction, but the one on the MACD is heading up. And this is a classic divergence. This is telling us that even though the prices are heading quite a bit lower here on Onyxcoin, the bearish momentum is running out. Despite the price making new lows, the MACD is running out of bearish momentum. And if you look on the 4-hour chart, we get a very similar story here. Again, let's connect the lows this time like this. You can see that we've got this bearish trend line going down on the price there. And if you look at the same time frame on the MACD on the 4-hour chart, again, it's quite a clear divergence. The trend line on the 4-hour MACD is heading upwards. The one on the 4-hour chart is heading downwards. You can even extend that all the way back over here. Again, it's been heading up now for quite some time, whereas on the price, it's been generally heading down. So we are starting to build up lots of divergences on different time frames here on the MACD. On the 1-day chart, we don't quite see a divergence because there isn't enough data on the MACD, but what we do see is a potential crossover coming very, very soon. These crossovers are strong buy and sell signals. Last time we got a crossover was here when we flipped from bullish to bearish on Onyxcoin, and if you correlate that to where the price was, that was near the top. So if you sold at the crossover, you would have done pretty well. And now what we are seeing, although we haven't seen a crossover yet, if we start to get any sort of trend reversal where the price is, chill out for long enough to start heading bullish once again, that could give us a crossover here on the MACD, something looking like this, for example, and that would give us a great buy signal here on Onyxcoin. Of course, if it also coincides with this potential pattern that we are seeing, this falling wedge here, then that would be even more bullish. Of course, going into this falling wedge here, this is reason number 2 why we could be seeing a near bottom. Of course, we still have this pattern here in play. Let me just remove these fibs and this support line here so you guys can see it clearer. This is a falling wedge. It is a bullish pattern, and right now, as of the past few hours, the price kind of confirms this support even more. Of course, before we were kind of speculating because it's been tested 2 clear times here, so we could have been seeing that falling wedge, but just over the past few hours, the prices have come down to it twice more and bounced off this area. And so what we have now is a much stronger support, a much stronger basis here for this falling wedge pattern. Of course, we've got this extremely strong resistance, and there is no bearish price target from a falling wedge. This is a bullish pattern. So if we see a breakout past that resistance, it could trigger off this pattern here. And of course, wherever we break out from this falling wedge, we would get 123% trade. So let's say that happens over the next few days. We would expect to see prices hit that price target there. Maybe it does something like this where it chills for a little bit, but eventually we would expect that price target of at least 3 cents here from this pattern to be hit. Of course, what we want to see for this pattern to work out is a clear breakout to the upside from this resistance. Of course, strong momentum and large green candles taking the prices much higher here would be a good sign of a breakout. Of course, if you're looking for a great place to trade this breakout on XCN, then look no further than the MEXC exchange. This is the exchange that I use for all my trading because they have some of the lowest trading fees. They don't require KYC to get started, and for a very limited time only, they're giving every new user who signs up using the link down below a free $20. So if you want to make use of this offer, click on the link in the description down below, fill out your details. It takes less than a minute to do so. Deposit some fiat or crypto into your account, and then you can get started trading straight away with that $20. Of course, MEXC even have futures trading here for XCN where you can trade XCN with up to 20 times leverage. So again, if you want to try that out, link for all of this is in the description down below. As always, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Back into this video. So to me, this falling wedge pattern, the fact that we're seeing divergences on the MACD is quite compelling that we could be seeing a reversal soon here on XCN. What I'd really like to see is a really short-term trend reversal pattern as well. For example, if what we're seeing right now starts to turn out to be a double bottom, that could be very convincing for me that we could be seeing some sort of trend reversal. If you look at these two bottoms now, very, very similar. So if we start to come up to this neckline here, for example, then that, in my opinion, would be actually quite a valid bottom pattern. On top of that as well, if we go over to Bitcoin, have a look at what Bitcoin is doing. Right now, you can see on the Bitcoin chart, we've got this long-standing bullish support here on the Bitcoin price. It's been in play now since September of 2023, so really long-term stuff. And every single time the price has come down to this support here, it's bounced off and it's made its next leg up. So of course, we saw quite a few tests of it back in October 2023. Again, we saw the tests in August, September 2024, and now the Bitcoin price is close to this support. So if you were to sell your crypto here and Bitcoin does what I think it's going to do, it's going to start its next leg up at some point in the future, could be in the next few weeks, then that would mean that you basically sold right at the very bottom here. That's generally how I see it, because right now I really strongly believe we're seeing a repeat of what we had at Bitcoin ETF. The vibes are so similar after that ETF. Of course, after that ETF came out at the start of 2024 for Bitcoin, there was a general sell-off in the market that lasted about a week before we saw this mega rally here on Bitcoin. And now we are seeing the exact same. Of course, countries are starting to announce that they're buying up Bitcoin. We saw Texas, for example, establish their own Bitcoin reserve where they want to buy $100 million worth of Bitcoin to put into their reserve. We're seeing news like that, and we're seeing a sell-off in Bitcoin. It doesn't make any sense. And so in my opinion, we are close to the bottom here on Bitcoin because we're close to this bullish support. And I think all this buying of Bitcoin will fuel the next leg up here over the coming weeks. And of course, that's going to be extremely bullish for Onyxcoin. Another compelling reason I have as well for the fact that selling is a mistake here is this total crypto market cap. You guys can already see we have this trend line here, this really strong resistance that connects the top there of 2021 with the high there of 2024. We have this extremely strong cup and handle pattern, a 3-year long cup formation, a 6-month long handle formation, a clear breakout to the upside. And now we are basically seeing yet another retest of this support here. Of course, if you were to sell your crypto right now, you'd be selling right at the support. And if this is a support and we start to bounce from it, the uptrends should resume in the whole crypto market, and we should see a price target or a market cap target of the total market cap here at $10 trillion. So that's how high I think the total crypto market cap will go this bull run. If we see this prices bounce from this level, we should see this resume towards $10 trillion. And this could mark a very important bottom for the crypto markets. Of course, every other chart that I do monitor also looks extremely bullish as well. Others, very similar story to Bitcoin. If we zoom out on the others chart, again, there's this extremely strong support on the others chart. This is basically the total crypto market cap, excluding the top 10 cryptos. So quite similar to the Bitcoin chart, we have this bullish support. Right now, the others is testing that support once again right now. Of course, if we bounce from here, this would have marked the bottom of the crypto before we started on the next leg up. And if that wasn't enough as well, have a look at this. This is another one that I really do enjoy watching, the XCN over XRP chart. The premise of this chart is that when this chart is bullish, XCN outperforms XRP, and when this chart is bearish, XRP outperforms XCN. Now this is a valid chart because XRP and XCN are in the same category of crypto. They're generally in the payments category of cryptos. And at the moment, of course, when XCN did its massive run up, we saw this chart shoot up. And what we are seeing right now is with that general retracement we've seen in XCN, we've also hit a very important support on this chart. As you guys can see, we have this neckline of this sort of double bottom pattern that you can kind of see it as. You've got two clear bottoms here on the XCN over XRP chart. We've got this neckline here, and we had a clear breakout to the upside from this pattern. As XCN was slowly bleeding out in that downtrend that I showed you, the prices had come down to the support level. Very important support in my opinion. And as long as this holds, we should see a resumption in the uptrend of this chart here. So again, another chart showing us that the prices of XCN are at massive support levels. And so catalyst wise, we do have quite a bit of news that could trigger the markets into a more bullish direction as well. First and foremost, we have a Solana ETF. The deadline for this ETF approval or rejection is going to be tomorrow, March 11th. This was filed in 2024. So the SEC have had 240 days to review this. So we're going to hear from the SEC tomorrow whether they approve or reject this ETF. If they approve the Solana ETF, that could be very, very huge. That would obviously be bullish for Solana first and foremost, but that could be also very bullish for the whole crypto market in general, because there's a lot of other ETFs in the waiting room as well. There's one for HBAR, for example, quite a few for XRP, and a bunch of other cryptos that have their ETFs in the waiting. So if the SEC approved the Solana one, that really, in my opinion, opens the doors for all these other altcoins to have their own ETF. So this should be very bullish if this turns out to be an approval. Of course, I want to show you trading economics as well. Something to watch out for, March the 12th, that's Wednesday. So I'll probably make another video before then, but we've got the inflation rate coming out on Wednesday. I think this one's going to shift the markets a lot, just because we've seen quite a bit of a downtrend in the markets. This inflation rate will have a lot of eyeballs on it. If it's worse than expected, this could really tank crypto. Crypto would be heading in the downwards direction. If the inflation rate is lower than expected, this would be very, very good for crypto. So just watch out for how these look like. It could add a lot of volatility here to crypto. And finally as well, guys, I want to show you this chart as well. That's from Rail Powell. Great chart, is one that I've seen a lot here on Twitter. This chart is the global M2 money supply, basically the global liquidity, how much money people have to invest in things. And generally speaking, when there's more global liquidity, there's more money to invest in general. And of course, that tends towards risk on assets such as crypto. So when we see this global M2 money supply increasing, we also generally tend to see crypto do well. As you can see with this chart, there's a very strong correlation between the money supply and Bitcoin. And of course, Bitcoin's quite correlated with the rest of crypto. If Bitcoin's doing well, then we'll generally see other cryptos doing at least decently as well. And at the moment, the global money supply is increasing right now. It's increasing quite a lot, particularly in China. And at the moment, Bitcoin is still heading downwards, but there's going to come a point where Bitcoin's going to catch up with the global liquidity. And of course, that supports the fact that this supports the fact that we would be seeing what I've mentioned here in Bitcoin, where we see the prices kind of go sideways for a little while over the next week, maybe, before starting to see the next leg up here, catching up basically with the global liquidity that we have. Of course, if Bitcoin's making this next leg up, then in my opinion as well, XCN is also going to be doing that. So we could really start to see a nice bullish rally here on XCN as early as the end of March. At the end, and of course, guys, I saved the best for last here. The last thing that I want to show you guys is CoinMarketCap once again. And I never thought I'd see this day come. I've been in the 2021 bull market. I was in the 2022 bear market as well. And I don't think I've ever seen the CoinMarketCap fear and greed index this low. This is extreme fear that we are seeing in the markets right now. It's not just normal fear, guys. This is extreme fear. If you look on Twitter, everyone is basically doom posting. Everyone's talking about how the bull run this year is over, how everything is going to be going to zero, everything is going to be banned by all the governments worldwide. So we're doing a lot of chat, and that is exactly where the sentiment bottom is. Where if there is ever going to be a bottom in crypto, this is basically the right time for a bottom to happen, because the sentiment now is so. Of course, if you have a longer term outlook here in crypto in general, not just for XCM, but in crypto in general, now in my opinion is an epic time to be scooping up your favorite cryptos. The fear and greed index has hit extreme fear for the first time ever. Of course, buy the fear, sell the greed. At the end of the day, if you truly believe in crypto, or if you believe at least this chart is going to be heading up towards greed at some point in the future, then in my opinion, you have a high reward versus risk right now. So basically, I've shown you quite a few things here that tell us that we could be seeing a market bottom really close by. Of course, here on Onyxcoin, I do believe we are close to a bottom on the price as well. 1.1 cents could be a nice decent bottom here for the Onyx coin price. Of course, do be prepared for more downside. At the end of the day, it is still possible, but we are definitely closer to a bottom than we are to a top, in my opinion. So take what you will from this video. Hopefully I've given you a bit more conviction in these hard times here in crypto. At the moment, I personally think this is a fantastic buying opportunity if you have a slightly longer term look on crypto. And I'm talking at least a few weeks to maybe a few months. Otherwise, that's all I have to say in this video, guys. Hopefully it was helpful to you. Let me know down in the comments how you're feeling about XCN. Are you still holding your XCN or have you sold your XCN? Of course, thanks for watching the video and I'll see you in the next one.